list of things that I'm gonna get through, if it kills me. It's like, I get so frustrated when class gets over and I'm like, they didn't let me do anything, they didn't let me go through anything. Before we get into the chakra stuff, just so you guys understand, because what they're telling me is to teach you guys this stuff in the way that you can immediately share it with other people. Not just as like, oh, this is this and this is that, you know, like they almost teach it like a teacher class. Not that you guys are going to be certified as like teachers, but I wasn't certified as a teacher when I was teaching. I was certified as a Reiki master teacher when I started teaching. Prior to that, I was just, like I was saying, I was just a fellow student. We would channel the guides and we would all ask them questions and I would channel the answers. So it wasn't like I was the one that like knew or I was the one that was knowing, and we would all discern, no, I think that's crap. I think that was an earthbound spirit or, you know, whatever. Like, it's like we would go through and we would kind of discern what was true and what was not. I remember Dirt Old Lady was this lady that was behind Nita. She was one of the girls in our group. And now I know the Dirt Old Ladies are the earthbounds. They're literally like disgusting, gross, like earthbounds. She was dirt old, like she would smile and you could see like if you lifted her skin, it was like new underneath, but she was like dirt all over her. And it's because she's buried. So gross. But she would laugh and she'd call her the laughing grandma or something. So I wanted to read to you guys this thing real quick. My new obsession lately has been tapping. Does anyone here do tapping? Hit a 1. Huh?
Brittany does tapping.
Brittany does tapping? Lots of tappers. She wrote something in here that I found pretty interesting. Okay, people sometimes ask why we focus on the book is this. And I don't usually read, like I said, but since this isn't like about divinity or like the soul's journey or whatever, it's more about the brain, I feel that I'm able to like read it or whatever. So I'm listening to it. I'm too lazy to read. So yawning, sighing, burping, and more. People often ask if they're doing something wrong since each time they tap, they begin yawning or experiencing other physical effects. These are all good signs. They're ways that your body is relaxing, moving, and releasing energy and letting go. When you tap, make a point of noticing all the ways your body responds. So when I read that, I was like, oh, that's a good point, you know, to notice the way that your body feels when you're doing Reiki on yourself, when you're doing a healing on yourself. Sometimes you're like, I'm so bored, this is so lame. If you're so bored and it's so lame, likely you need to do it, you know, because something in you is saying like, no, I don't want you to do this. Donna probably has a shadow aspect that doesn't want to be let go, so it's like, oh, I'm going to go and scare my daughter. Not scare my daughter, but, you know, like have the stuff is going to come out. Basically what happened to me when my cousin was here was she was seeing all this really freaky, scary stuff here at the office. And I've just brought an awareness to the fact, now I'm burping and like, I brought an awareness to the fact that I didn't own the energy in this office. And just yesterday, like I was asking them here today, does the office feel different? And they're saying yes. I got my cranial sacral session and I realized that the only part of the office that I thought was mine was that spot where I had signed the lease. Notice that spot over there feels so good. The spot over on the couch when you walk in, the clearing area. That's the only part of the office that I thought I owned. And the other night when I had a spirit in my field, Madison says, "Ghost, mommy." I was like, ah. And I said, I need to get it, Madison. And she ran out of here and she sat on the stairs and she was like this. I went out there like 5 minutes later because I thought she went to go get like her wand or something like that, you know, just like we were playing. And she was just sitting there like that. And I went, Madison, what's wrong? And she goes, "Ghost, go." And it went, it left. So like she had to wait until we were outside of this office in order to command the energy because I didn't own the space. And it was probably in this space or whatever. What was the other thing? So I liked the way that she put this, checking in. So checking into yourself and actually tuning into yourself. A lot of people go like, what do you mean tune in? So tuning in, I don't know if, I'm not going through that unmuting thing again. I was gonna say if anyone wants to share. But checking in is like if I was gonna tune into this camera right here, what I do is I go, oh, okay, it's black. It's, skinny. It's got little lights on the side. Like, I'm tuning in. That's what I'm doing. I'm tuning into the energy. And that's what attunement is. Like, I'm tuning into it. And an attunement is basically like you're getting into resonance, or you're matching something else. So these two things are attuned to each other. These little lapel mics that I wanted to feel fancy with using, and I haven't been able to. But the lapel mics, they're both at 530.100 megahertz. So in order for them to communicate, they both have to be at 530.100 megahertz. The other ones that I have are at 518.700 or something like that. So in order to make a match, they have to be on the same frequency, right? So in order to communicate with the spirit plane, in order to communicate with a person that you're doing a healing on, in order to communicate with anything, you have to get on to the same level with them. Otherwise, it's going to be like this, which is a lot of the stuff that I'm saying right now to a bunch of people. It's like, but when you rewatch it, you're going to go, oh, So that's why I say, don't try to intellectually digest anything. Just like absorb it. Just be like, what the hell is she talking about? Okay, whatever. Even when we're on breaks, even when like whatever, the energy is working in here. Everyone's higher self is in here. Everybody's being worked on like right now. So if you're feeling like tingling, if you feel like hot and cold, if you have like numb fingers, tingly toes, if you got like a pain that you don't usually have, write it down because it means something. There's no reason, the only reason why you would notice something is because it means something. And it's not like, the second phase of spirituality, like in my book, like, oh, a leaf fell, it's spirit. A falling leaf, it's chief falling leaf. It's spirit communicating with me. But the other thing that I liked in here that she had was what's bothering you. So what's bothering you and what feels right now. So how I was saying last night to write down like what you wanted to see your life as. If you're taking a boot camp class to get your booty into shape, mind, body, soul, and like everything, what's in shape? So that's why I want you guys to like write down right now, like what is in shape for me? Like for me, if I'm like, okay, what's in shape? Okay, I want to weigh 132 pounds. I want ripped arms, a six pack. I want like, I want to be tan. I want my hair to be long and not this color. This color's killing me. I'm going to go back to dark brown tomorrow. I'm very excited about it. But anyways, so what is in shape for you? Like how much time do you spend with your family? How much time do you go to the gym? How much time do you meditate? Like I want you guys to actually write out. I've got this thing by Brendan Bouchard. It's actually pretty cool. I got him at Hay House. And we were actually, me and Margie were actually making one a couple years ago. And it's got like morning mindset. There's like little questions. It's a little too much for me. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to take all that time to do that.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Me and Janice challenged each other. We were like, okay, let's fill out our things and see how much.
It took me all day to
I know, it's like it takes all day to fill the freaking thing out. But, something like that day I was feeling very like, woo, I was organized. Look at me. I filled it all out. I actually filled it out when we did our challenge. I forgot about our challenge. I did it for 20 days.
Nice, I did it.
But isn't that funny? I won't take the last bite of food. I won't finish anything. Does anyone else leave one bite of food on the plate?
On purpose? You do that on purpose?
I just can't eat the last bite. Does anyone else do that? Yes! Oh my God, that's so funny. I don't know why I can't eat the last bite. I just can't do it. It's not, I'll just be like, I'm done. I'm full. And I think it's because I don't want to take the last one, or I don't know. I have no idea. It's funny. This is like a year ago. It's like get the membership program up and running. Still doing that. The daily attunement thing. But this thing, it's cool. It's a high performance planner. And last night I had you guys with your homework do how do you show up to people in this world? Like if you were to die today, and people were at your funeral saying nice things about you, what would they say? Like, honestly, think about it. People would be like, oh yeah, Marissa was funny and she was a little all over the place and never really knew what was going on. It's like, and that would be them being nice. Like she was like just everywhere. And that's just how everyone's always seen me, because I was like a spaz, because I've got ADD and I'm just like everywhere. So my whole intention with this class this weekend for myself was to be a grounded, like, human being and be accountable and not be like, oh yeah, so she said she'll be here at 10, so I'll come at 11. And like Bill tricks me. He tells me that the meeting's at 10 when it's really at 11. And then, like Audrey's like, because Jennifer got upset because I was late the other day and she thought I was disrespecting her and all this stuff. And I was like, Audrey's like, honestly, she's like, if you tell me to meet you at 10, I just come at 10:30. Like, she's like, I just expect it. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, like, she was just being honest. I wasn't like, oh. It's like, it's true. I can't be on time. There's something about it. So, finding like your weaknesses and be willing to look at them. Like, think of the way that people see you. Oh, she's chronically ill all the time. She's always sick. She's always going to doctors. You know those friends that are always like, oh, I've got hippolysitis and I've got this disease and I've got that disease. And it's like, what is that? Oh, it means that my finger clicks. Oh, okay. So like, that's really something you're going to define yourself by, your finger clicking. My cousin was like, she's like, oh yeah, I've got TMJ. You've got TMJ, right? And I was like, I think I do. I was like, yes, I do. But I haven't thought about that for like 20 years. And she's like, yeah, I've got that and I've got this. I'm like, Lindsay, you're just making up stuff so you can take painkillers. Like, you're honestly just making up stuff. I said, when I realized I didn't want to take painkillers anymore, all of my pains went away. Because we'll create them so that we can have a reason to not feel guilty for taking like a crap ton of painkillers that would like tranquilize a horse. I was taking so many. So once you truly decide that you do not want to be on medications, the symptoms that are requiring medication will go away. Dr. Susie, if she's available today, was going to call in. I was going to let her talk. I was going to tell her 10 minutes, which means probably 30. She's probably going to do it during lunch break. So if anyone wants to listen, like while they're, mute their phone and listen in, she's going to talk about cortisol. And it's like fascinating, because I was telling her yesterday that my Adderall ran out. So I don't have any of my medication right now. I'm like medication free. I'm like feeling weird. I said, and I feel bored. I said, I feel really, really bored. And I'm like all everywhere. When I take Adderall, I'm like, I get like calm. And she said, well, that's because you don't have the adrenaline rush going right now that you get from the Adderall. But what I have found is that taking Adderall, I don't know if anyone's willing to admit if they take Adderall or like Ritalin or Vyvanse or any of those medications, but they project you out here to your right shoulder. You go right here. Yeah, like out this way. What was that?
I just have a really bad right shoulder, but I don't take Adderall or anything, so I'm just wondering about
It's the person that was living inside of you. Look, her head is right there. She needs to get the hell out of us.
Pain and then 24/7 pain.
You want me to get her out?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Some people just need to get their own bodies. There's people that accidentally end up in your field and stuff like that, but there's people that like legitimately think they don't have abilities without tuning into somebody else's heart. But they can't tune into our heart because that's sacred, so they tune into the mirrored image of it. So let's see, Janice, your heart's over here, so it's hurting your right side?
It's her side.
My dad was choking, like literally having like he choked, like at Taco Bell. I'm like, that's what you get for eating Taco Bell. But anyways, it's like, he said that the people walked over and were like, and he's like, right then they're like, would you like some water, agua? He threw himself up against the table and went, ugh!
Oh my God.
He was really choking. He said that he felt it closing in, and she was in his field too. So yeah. So when people are actually in your field, you can actually ask right now. Say, is anybody using my life stream in order to connect with God? Is anyone using my life stream in order to connect with God? If you get a yes, just start writing down names. That's a good way to do it. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. This is the first thing that you should check your clients for. Make sure that nobody else is using their life stream. I never heard that word before, life stream. I like that. It's not just the light, it's the consciousness, the awareness. It's like the channeled information, so people will tune into that. But they'll get a distorted version of it because they're going to tune into it on the other side, but you'll feel that tickling on your back. So it's not just dead people. It's live people. Wow. Interesting. We're going to clear it right now. Yeah, I'm not going to freak you guys out and then be like, all right, cool, you got a bunch of vampires. Let's go to the next exercise. Speaking of vampires, he's like, ah, my dinosaur out there. I just heard Parker. So let me ask the guides. So how do we clear that? You may use the spiral shaped, the symbol in which we attuned everyone to this morning at 4 a.m. our time. So whatever time it was, so 4 a.m. everyone got attuned to it. That's funny, that's when I woke up. So imagine a spiral. If you don't see it, it's okay. Just imagine something bouncing up and down. I'll try and find a visual, like a little cartoon image of it. Imagine a spiral bouncing up and down in your right hand. And as it bounces up and down, it creates force around it. That force then turns into an orb or a field of energy around it, into a ball of Reiki, to be more accurate. All you must do then is just take your hand, place it over your heart, run Reiki through your heart, and what it will do is it will go throughout your entire body, find the roots of where you're allowing that person in. That looks like tree roots. So just put your right hand over your heart, and what you're doing is you're feeding this Reiki energy into your body, and eventually your frequency will get high enough to where they can't tune into you, because they can only tune into you when you're in ego. I used to have a friend that knew how to manipulate me because she would go, oh, it's your addiction, you're an addict, and she'd plug in, because she'd tell me I was an addict even though I don't consider myself an addict anymore, but she knew how to get me down there to where she could plug into me. She was very into like quantum healing and black magic, and I call it black magic because she doesn't believe in God. But that was her way of plugging into me, is telling me you're an addict, or you're this, or you're that. And then while you have your hand over your heart, ask your triggers. Ask what it is that causes you to go down to where somebody can plug into you. Because if you're existing in a place where you believe in God, you believe that God is within you, or you are God, you have the power of God, but your emotions pull you down into duality, that's where people exist that do not believe in God. They don't believe that they're God, so they use your connection to go up. They use your tube of light. That's what you said, Jana. Oh my God, that's crazy. Jana cleared me of some stuff. Same with Riche and Brittany. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff clearing off me. And then after you've done that for 2 minutes, they said, it's been 2 minutes. They're capping it at 222. This is funny, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. They said, and nobody will forget that, 222. Just do that for 2 minutes and 22 seconds, and then all you have to do is just imagine that a ball of light from your higher self is coming down, entering into the back of your heart. Once it enters in the back of your heart, it's going to put a little shield around your heart. And then you take your hand away and then allow that shield to grow out bigger than you through breath. So like, so you do one breath in the bottom, one up here, and then out. You do that 10 times, and that'll release all the emotions from the emotional body that are causing you to go down there. It'll fill you with oxygen. It'll expand that bubble out, and then you'll rise up and you'll land inside your higher self's head. Oh, that does make it grow fast. And the intention you can set is as you're breathing in air to the lower stomach, you're breathing into the mucky emotional body, and then you're pulling it up to your heart, and then breathing out that which doesn't serve you. Smoker over there. I'm just kidding. Oh, my hands are tingling. And if your hands get tingly, last time I did breath work a couple nights ago, my lips were like this. I couldn't breathe. They're stuck. Danielle had to come over and wiggle my hips and like shake me because there was a few girls that were laying next to me that kept hearing a name. And we got a picture of it. Oh, I'll show you guys the picture. It's freaky. You can see someone standing on me in the picture. There's one picture where I had to take a picture for the producers. And then a couple people heard a name and told her, and then she was like, oh my God, and then she felt like she saw something on me, so she went back and took another picture, and you can see somebody standing on me. It's crazy. There we go. And then just allow yourself to rise into your higher self's head. So basically so no matter where you are in your body, no matter where your consciousness is, you're trusting that your higher self will send that bubble down in through the back of your heart. It'll expand out to protect your heart, and then you're inside of it, and then it's going to rise you up to wherever you need to go. That way you don't have to deal with, am I upside down? Am I right side up? Am I this? Am I that? That's it's literally for me, that was the most confusing thing ever. And when I went through that phase of that, I wanted to just wring my own neck. Stop it, Marissa, who cares? Just believe that you're going up. But I was like, but what if I'm going down? And that's what the dark side wants us to do is question ourselves. God, that scares me. When you are born, I'm gonna do this thing. We're gonna take you through conception to here. This is something that you can take your clients through, and then we'll do the meditation for it. Turn this way. I'm such a professional camera person. This is hello. Janice, this is how I used to see you in my field. Oh, Janice used to be like that in my field. Because the source codes, some of them I made up with my own mind. So because I made them up with my own mind, they were in my field. So when Janice would be doing them, I'd see her head poking in my field. Ow! Thanks, board.
We were fighting it earlier.
I think it's supposed to, okay.
Push it up.
I think, there we go, okay. Save the day as I'm knocked out.
Is it too far back?
Oh, there's my purse. While we wait for Janice, in order to attune a heart, I just got this heart at Target for $8, $10. Here's $12. In order to fill this with Reiki, fill your stuff with Reiki, all you have to do to invoke the Reiki, like I said, is Reiki Go. But right now I'm kind of fascinated with this whole Reiki body thing that they told us last night. So I'm just gonna say, just ask my Reiki body. For some reason they want it to be where it's separate from us, and then it steps back into us. So I now ask that my Reiki body be separate from me, and it's gonna pull back out of you. And then ask that you be cleared with Reiki. So Reiki Go, and just imagine Reiki running down over you. And then ask that your Reiki body step back into you, and that you be in your Christ body or your forgiveness body. Some people just can't handle the word Christ that are online, I feel it. And then once you're in alignment with like the everything that's good within you, forgiveness and Reiki and all that, then all you have to do is just imagine this as like, imagine it as like a glass, like empty glass, you know, so it's like a glass heart. And so you just hold it in your hands and then just Reiki go, and then you just put your hands on the side and just imagine that it's empty, you know, that there's no stuffing in it. And then as I'm sending Reiki to it, it's getting filled. And when you feel like it's filled, you now have a Reiki heart. Isn't that fun? You can do that with shampoos, with conditioners. You can do it with your kids' pillows. You can do it with anything really. If you guys want to feel what this feels like, just say like, I now have that heart in my hand, and go like that, and you'll feel it. It's like boom. Here, feel this. Did you feel it? It's so cool. And there's actual studies, you guys can look it up online, the physics of Reiki, where they actually have people, they've studied the molecules and how they spin, and how the molecules that make us up and how they make things up spin. And if things are like things that you quantumly entangle with, if once you're one, you're always going to be one, unless you separate yourself. So like say my molecules speed up, Jeff's will speed up wherever he is, you know. That's her daughter's thing. Hers are speeding up, so her daughters are speeding up, so she was going up through the astral. Okay, I don't ever want to mislead kids. So I'm like got paranoid. I'm like, oh, okay, want to make sure that this is okay. So yeah, no, it's good. Okay, so but with the molecules, they say that people are actually raising the frequency of those. So say somebody's sick and you give them a pillow infused with Reiki, it's gonna raise their vibration. There's a guy across the street, Kit Corp Labs, and he's the guy with the springs in his shoes that I met at Lazy Acres down the street. He was like, don't vaccinate them. And I was like, why? And then we started talking, and he healed himself from being paralyzed twice. And he has these springs in his shoes, and the whole way he did it was by doing this. Knees bent, like going like this, back and forth. And I was like, really? And then he's like, put one hand up. And he was the head of neurology of the United States, like Neurological Association. He was the head of that for like 20 years. And so he knows the brain, he knows things. And so they have discovered and they have proven that they can charge clothing, and the clothing will heal people. So he was walking by one day and he takes his shirt off and he's like, here. And I was like, ugh. He's like 80, you know, and he's like charging along, walking with his springs. Turns out he literally lives across the street right there. And I ran into him a couple times. But they're the ones that are going to study my brain, that did the tests or whatever, or that did some tests, but they're going to do some tests for when I'm channeling. And they said that I go up to about 18% of brain power. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah. So it's like we're just tuning into more of us. But you can charge your clothing, you can charge your kids' baths. Just imagine, just Reiki go, and just imagine Reiki coming out of your hands, or stick them in the water, and just imagine an empty tub. And then when you feel like it's filled with Reiki, it's done. It's so easy. It's just like, you know, you can run Reiki, or you can just like, you know, show me the tub. Okay, Reiki go. Infuse that with Reiki, and then just watch whatever happens, and then it just turned gold to me, and it's like ding, done. Okay, now it's done. So you can do it through the quantum way, where you're actually just visualizing it in any way that you want to, or where you're actually running the energy. When I infuse things with Reiki, I like to actually like run the Janice is like rubbing the pillow. She's like, she was like making out with the pillow.
I got rid of it before.
I know your husband's been gone for like 24 hours, but
She was setting it.
Oh my gosh.
it feels so good. I love that. I'm like in love with this new Reiki energy. I couldn't infuse them like that before. It felt more like jolting before. Now it feels like feels very good. Doesn't it feel good? It feels really good. So that alone, you guys, could be a class that you taught for $50. You know, how to infuse stuff, you know. And people don't necessarily have to be attuned to Reiki to fill something with life force energy, you know, to fill it with goodness or whatever. Anyone can do quantum healing. And that's why I said with spiritual boot camp, I was teaching it without attuning people to Reiki energy. And that's when I got into issues. That's when I was breeding like last night when I got removed from everybody that was leeching off of me, Justin literally wrote to my husband and was like, I have a deathly afraid feeling for Marisa. Like, I just needed to check in on her. He wrote to Jeff. It's because I had everybody cut out of my field yesterday, like an hour before. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, he felt it. So anyway, because he was one of the ones that came out of my field. I love Justin. He's cool, but I don't want him living inside of me. No thank you. Giving me spiritual noogies. I'm trying to figure out where to sit so you guys can see and they can see. Okay, so this is going to be channeled, all right? So stop me after like 15 minutes, okay? So conception point. And right now we're talking about the soul is the story. This may be a little small for them. Let me move the camera up. I need to write bigger. Okay, so when we choose to incarnate as one of those 250, let's just call them the 256 foot beings. Whoever those are, okay? So that's our true self. And the key here is self. Self means that we're separate from God, okay? So there, okay. So the 256 foot beings, that's our true self. So the self is technically separate from God. So above this would be like oneness with the Creator. A loving Creator. Oh, I just heard Christ. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so loving Creator, so this is, we are an aspect of them. And from here, this is when we decide, we pick a story. Soul program, okay? So this 256 foot being takes heart plus mind together. So imagine the heart as like the heart equals like the spark, and then the mind would be like the thing around it. So that's basically you. You're like cell. Still in this one. That one probably just logged off.
Yeah, she's on.
Is this still going here?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, sweet. Yeah. Okay, so that's a cell here. So now we're a cell. Okay, so our cell, or us, that's us, we pick a story, and it's funny, they're showing the story like this. Like a ghost, I'm like, ew. But it's actually looks more like this. It looks more like this, like, I heard mitochondria? Mitochondria. I don't even know what that is. Basically, yeah, look up mitochondria. So this is spinning, okay? So this is creating energy. So it's an energy source for our cell right here to live in this story right here. So this creates energy. So
Energy production.
shut up.
Yeah.
It's what?
Respiration and energy production occur.
Respiration and energy production will occur with mitochondria. Okay. Okay, mitochondria. Okay, so our individual cell goes into a body basically, and that's the whatever, something about a mitochondria. And then that's when we go through the veil. Which is the void. Okay, so when we pass through there, we have funny arms and a funny body. We'll be Jeff, we'll have a mohawk. There. Since I can hear his voice. And this is Adam. But not like Adam and Eve, it's just mankind. So you're gonna choose the genes you want based on the family, the nationality, the location. You're gonna choose the person that you want to be when you are Adam, basically, okay? Here's your cell that's up here. Your cell goes like this. Is this the right? Okay, this is the right hand. Pterodactyl. And then your cell is going to go. And this right here is where you're going to create energy from, and then this is where you're going to incarnate inside of. So that's the game that we call Earth. Oh man, I have my iPad. I could have done it from there. I'll do the next chart from there. So basically, this up here has never lost who it is. It's just lost the fact that it's this 256-foot being that created the heart and the mind. Okay, so the heart and the mind come together, and the heart is the information. The mind would be kind of like the container for it. And so obviously this up here is Christ, so Christ is the creator of, whatever, our soul family. There's 7 Christs. So our soul family is one of them. And it's the only one on this planet. Okay, so they say that our gut is our brain because basically we're going, this is where the light, the guys always talk about the light. The light is here. The light is there. And then we basically from above here, the creator of Christ, sends with it the witness. And that's what I'm teaching you guys how to be. The witness right there, okay? So the witness is always going to be there. The witness is non-judgmental. The witness just watches, and that's what I call the GoPro. It's called the GoPro video camera. So it's just kind of like watching, looking,